Hi guys, welcome back to the Corper podcast. My name is Fikemi Aderoju, the host of this beautiful podcast, and today we have a special guest, another special guest, and he's going to introduce himself in a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast, and I hope it keeps entertaining you guys and giving you information about everything and anything NYC. So our guest today, hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, so can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Chima Chukwudi Obieze.
Deep Igbo.
Yeah, I'm from Anambra. Onitsha.
Anambra money, big money.
We try.
Yeah.
We can call me the Pope. Pope has a slash.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I make music. I'm an artist. I do Afro fusion, Afro soul, R&B, hip hop. Why?
Okay.
Anything, really.
Any genre.
Anything, music.
Yeah. Okay. What else do you do? Do you just do music?
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. You have to. You can't be
There's
from
another
Anambra
one I'm waiting for.
and not. What other one?
Another job
Word.
description.
Okay, yeah. I have a law degree.
Why did you start with that?
Because I feel like I'm more than a lawyer.
We'll get into that, don't worry. But yeah, thank you so much for being a guest on today's episode. So we're going to start off the conversation with, I think the general belief is that Abuja and Lagos are like the biggest places people go to do camp. So they always want to be closer to Lagos or Abuja. Right? Was how it was for you? Do you think Abuja is as, based on your experiences in Abuja, do you think it's as hyped, as worth the hype here? Let me see that.
Well, it depends on what you're going to Abuja to look for, actually.
It's not camp you're going to Abuja for?
No, people that usually come to Abuja, they're looking for something else, and then they walk their camp to Abuja. Abuja is like a very, very hard place to get into sometimes. So, it depends on what you're looking for. Me personally, music.
What are you looking for?
I was trying to get into the music scene. So, I was like, coming from the uni I went to, I decided to get into the Abuja scene, try and see what the alternative space is looking like. And I now worked it there. Basically.
Okay, so let's start off, let's backtrack, right? Where did you do camp?
I did camp in Delta. I realized that Delta people like to drink.
Really?
Yeah, I'm from Onitsha, and we have a drinking culture as well.
Okay.
So there was a lot of alcohol in camp. Apparently some camps they have that.
Yeah. My camp, they don't believe
A lot of alcohol, and it was. The soldiers said that they were trying to show us, what the common man in Nigeria faces every day.
Well,
it was intense.
Really? The kind of experience?
Yeah,
How was your reaction like when you got to camp? Like when you just got, like you arrived, you saw the gates and everything. What came to your mind?
I'd say the first thing that came to my mind was prison.
Prison? Wow.
Because I don't think a lot of young people want to. Some people want to.
Yeah.
But I think some other people don't want to experience.
Go to camp.
Yeah. Because I've never heard good stories. You get to enjoy it at the end, but at the beginning it's always dreadful.
Yeah,
I think it's a bittersweet journey.
Yeah, talking about it now, it's like, oh, you have like memories, but like actually being there. So to start off let's continue the conversation. What was like your, what was the moment where you're like, you can't stay here, like you want to be out, like immediately?
3 days in. When I saw the toilets and the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's like a general.
This is what I'm going to be doing for the next 3 weeks. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't.
You're not ready to lie that you had some crazy ass illness.
I tried. I even went to Google, was searching for the name of things. Got to the hospital. It was a student doctor that was attending to us. Opened the door. Just they look me and they look out. It was not like where's your this thing? I dropped it on the table. I was like, I came in prepared. I checked for
The whole
symptoms. You know, came in. I was like, I'm feeling the pain here and here and here and here. He was just looking at me. He didn't say anything. After a while, I kept quiet. And I looked at me. I was like, you don't say you dey lie. I don't say you dey lie, but it's you get. I don't get it.
Like, I
just want to go home. They said that I should go and find a way to get a better one, at least.
Oh my days!
Or that the clinic would this. I said no, I can't. Finally, I left. Then I went to meet one of the camp officials. I said I should give him 50K.
Oh wow!
50K. That 50K to drop. Sure. I stayed back.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Please speak into the mic with the logo. Yeah, so if you're turning to up, don't.
Oh.
Okay, so generally, right, this is general belief that camp is like extremely crazy, it's not comfortable and all of that. But we say that's 100% true. Did you actually have no good moments at camp?
It was one of it. There were good moments because when you're in hell, you cherish,
the good experiences.
Yeah, the good experiences you have there. So there were a lot of good moments that I can think about, but the general experience, well, as I said, bittersweet at the end because at some other time when we are doing those side programs, Jesus, you're teaching us what most of us basically know. And then some of the other information is redundant. We can read it in the pamphlets. Why are you telling us what we have access to?
No, I think my own beef with the whole side program is them reading. Like when we did side, there was this lady that came to teach you read a PowerPoint. Like she would read plus the grammatical error. Like it was she wasn't explaining or teaching. Like it was only when they were talking about sex education. I know that's when people were awake. But apart from that, they were just reading the same thing, and it was ridiculous.
It was
actually ridiculous.
Some of the experiences I was like, okay, the government said that the aim was to unite Nigerians, but look at where we are right now. We can tell that the program is not really working as much as it should. Maybe it's slower. Let me put it that way. But like Nigeria, we never tried to improve on anything, so we're stuck here.
I think that's the issue because when it started, like having conversations with like the very, very elderly people, they're like, oh, it was really great there. They probably, maybe someone that was Igbo married someone that was Hausa, but they made friends who are like, they had like friends from other tribes and all of that, and it was really nice. But then now, in this generation, you can't expect the same thing you planned as of 50 years ago to still work now. Because when they did the anniversary and they celebrated it, there wasn't any, I feel the main problem is even the country, right? If the country isn't developing itself, I don't think NYS is now the main focus for them to develop. So I get what you're trying to say. But what would you say was like your worst moments in camp? Like an experience you had that was really, really terrible?
I dreaded the waking ups.
The 4 a.m.
Yeah. So I was part of a unit that used to go and pump water. So I had to wake up earlier.
Really?
But it was a sacrifice because I'm part of that unit, I stayed away from all the parades.
Really?
This is scope I'm giving you if you're going to Delta. You should pay me.
So you didn't have to do so it make you pump the water, you can go back to sleep?
Yeah. For a while.
Are you serious?
For a while. I found a few hacks.
That was actually so nice because the mornings were just too crazy and cold. Like, I can't imagine. Like, because I went with batch C stream too. I think you did as well. So like we got to go during the times where it was like Hamatan. It was a bit hot. I can't imagine people that are going in this season, the rainy season. Like you could be in this, like you were bathing and then rain is falling on you, or you're on the parade ground. So like under the sun, I only experienced under the sun. In the rain, I feel like it's much worse because you're wearing white and white.
In the rain.
Are you seriously rain?
During PPA, yeah, in Abuja.
Okay, PPA.
Yeah.
When you were now in Abuja, really, how was that like?
Going to the parade ground, muddy, everywhere. Nothing you wear going for NYSC ever comes back clean. We're always looking like Nigeria happened to us.
No. Wait, so I don't understand. Like, you did parade during your PPA?
No, not parade. Like the parade ground where we do like the CDS. Yeah.
Oh, it was
During
in a
CDS.
parade ground.
Yeah.
Let's actually get into your PPA experience. So when you got your letter, right, you're posting it and you're posted to Abuja. Were you excited? Like you're deployed to Abuja. Were you excited?
Yes.
You felt fulfilled?
Because in camp, I was really, really hoping that I would not get to Abuja. I was hearing that people were going to places that they needed canoes and boats, and I'm like, I cannot be doing that. Sojourning through Nigerian waters at this time. It's not for me.
I just feel like that's like it sounds like a really good adventure, like something to try out, but it's just not worth the risk, in my opinion.
If you end up in kidnappers, then good adventure.
That's actually the fear. So when you got to your PPA, right? Where did you serve? Like, where was your PPA?
I served in Federal Mortgage Bank.
Yeah, how was the experience like?
It was interesting.
Were you in the legal department?
Yeah.
So how would you describe being a corper in Abuja in that space?
Well, the space and the rest of Abuja was quite different, and it was two different experiences. So in the workspace, it was interesting. I got to see Nigerian civil service play politics and show themselves as they are.
As they are.
You know,
but you got to witness firsthand.
Yeah, how the money in the country is going.
Interesting.
You know.
But like, did it make you like ever reflect on you being a lawyer? Did it make you more passionate about it? Did it make you feel like now you want to do it?
It just showed me that people having the law degree or having the tools doesn't mean that they will use it for what it's supposed to be used for. Everybody gets dressed at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I just saw this is what this person is using their stuff for. I'm not talking about the legal department or I'm talking about generally. Yeah. So I got to see like, okay, this is what people that have degrees are doing in the civil service.
Yeah.
Why don't we have computers? Why don't we have a database of files?
Why is it still?
Yeah, your structure is not even sound. Do you know that they have hard copies of everything? Like documents, whatnot. It's a lot of hard copies. Why can't we do digital?
Yeah.
At this time, it makes work easier.
Yeah.
Because as a corper, Jesus, file room. That's where you live.
Because I can imagine someone coming in and like, oh, there's something in 19 something, and you have to literally go through and look for it.
My God, you go find that one.
Because I saw a tweet where someone was like, they went to a file room trying to look for, because they were talking to a lecturer and they were like, oh, they're trying to get their file from when they was in school, which was like 30 years ago or something. The lecturer was like, oh, no problem. So she was expecting the lecturer to like open, her laptop and find this, and they were like, okay, was not looking for keys to one storage, and I'm like, it's
a vault of files.
Like just paper. And the thing is, I feel like the way with paper, it will get dusty, it will start to. So how are you really preserving it? That's actually a concern.
And if you find out now, somewhere, there's probably a budget for tech somewhere.
Yeah, do you get?
You never know.
So that's actually...
It's Nigeria.
Right, it's actually part of the scary part. So let's talk about CDS, right? How was your CDS experience like for you? So CDS is basically community development service, so you get to do it every week, right? So how was it like for you? Because let me share my own CDS experience. So far, it's been... I don't even know how
Which
to
of the CDS were you in?
I'm in ICT. So that's on Thursdays. So the only one that really scares me is general CDS, because you have a lot, Lagos now, there are a lot of coppers, especially in like ATOS and one. So like there are people everywhere. So sometimes when we come in, it's like a mass, like I don't even think the staff know how to, like, are able to like handle all of us, like just so many people. And so all we just come and do, maybe thumbprint, somebody comes to talk about one course we should take for free, somebody comes to talk about how we should do this thing, then somebody comes to speak about their business and all of that. It's just very rowdy. But like for my personal STCDs, like recently, we got a talk from some guy that owns his computer business or something, and it was interesting. And now we plan to like go to schools to help students learn more about ICT and stuff like that.
That should be interesting.
That should be interesting, right? But like the general one of coming, trying to write your name, thumb printing. When I first started, before they changed our LGI, it was rowdy, like it was a mess. Like you see people.
And if there's no proper government, there.
If there's no ordinance, and you see, the people that were like the leaders before they passed out, they were so like they are extremely strict. But these new guys, they're literally like so young. So when they're even like, come, don't go here. People are just like, excuse me.
To be honest, I got to see that there are a lot of things that we as the youth, we blame the older generation for doing, and yes, they play their fault, and we're doing the same thing.
That is so
at CDS. I'll sit and I'm watching Nigerians display, because now we're like a confluence of people from everywhere. The experience, you get to see people, but it's little detail, because it's not much. You're not spending much time with them, so you're not absorbed the environment that much. Yeah. So I got to see Nigerians be Nigerians, fight for line. Why are you fighting for line? Just queue. Just queue. Why?
It made me also understand that a lot of things we complain about in the leaders, actually notice them with the little leaderships. Like, okay, when you come, you write your name, and no, like it's just always, and I'm like, how do you, like, how is it going to work? Because it won't get to a point where you're even influenced, and you're like, oh, if there's, because you figure out that there's no line again that they're following, and like, you know what, me sitting here will just be a waste of time. Because even the people that came after, it was when I was in a situation where someone that came after me, like maybe hours after, I just passed, and I was like, oh, are you done? She's like, yeah, she just went to dump. I said, me that we here since 7 a.m. It's like 10. What do you mean? You just went? She was like, she just walked in. And then I went to Susan and she just walked in. You know, I even felt, because like I like following the rules. So I was like, should I talk? But in that state, you just want to be out. And
some people say Nigeria is the jungle. When you roam, act like the Romans. So like jungle cats.
Nah, it's just too.
These days there are cats in the industry.
So what CDS were you in?
I was in EPS.
What's EPS?
Environmental and sanitation, something like that. Yeah.
So how was that like for you?
We didn't do any environmental or sanitation, anything.
Really?
We would just come, sit down, and wait for attendance. And we're spending 3-4 hours just to come sit down and sign.
Yeah. I always have Netflix stacked up.
I'm like, wow. What's the point?
Exactly. And I think that's why some people stab it, don't you think?
Yeah. That's why some people stab it. Because, like, Nigeria is a mess. We need to have structure in a lot of places. Like, we need to start coordinating ourselves. Like, units. Everybody's selfish, thinking about themselves.
That's so true.
You know, even the group leaders, you'll be hearing things about them taking money on the side for different things. You know, oh, we are donating money for this.
Donating money to buy. They tell us donate money to buy a laptop, and I'm a bit skeptical because I'm like, I'm not so sure that I'm going to use the money to like students, because there's some schools they went to and they realized that they don't have proper IC rooms. So like, oh, we should donate, and I'm like, is it us that will donate all of that? Like,
well, that's like a good deed on its own side.
That's if it is actually used for the good deed. That's why I'm a bit skeptical. But I'm like, what if it's not? Then you're gonna go and buy a range with my money. But yeah, PPA, like the general PPA experience here, like working as a copper, did you ever feel weird, like in your khaki, like going to work or going for CDS? Did you encounter any like favors because you're a copper?
Well, we just felt like part of the mix of the society that Nigeria is. In the office, we didn't go to office with khaki wears. So the days I had to wear khaki was during the CDS days, and I'm just going straight to Hussein. I stayed in Guarimpa, crazy place. So on my way to Wuse, I always pass through the market. So it depends on what kind of copper you are. If you're like a flexing person, you like to dye your hair and stuff, and you're walking through, say, markets. They were just looking at you weird.
Really?
Yeah, I dyed my hair at one point brown because I wanted to do like a video for something. Then go to the market. I noticed that I'm walking, some people are just crossing the road. I'm like, why are you avoiding me?
I told you. That's so weird.
Yeah, it was weird. So I noticed that, got to work, came back, went home, the same thing. Then moving around, getting into kekes and some places, I noticed that everybody's just like giving a straight face when they try to talk to me and stuff like that.
The body language was different.
Yeah, and I now realized, it's the hair.
Because I think like there's a lot of, I don't know what the English is, but like when it comes to like doing things like maybe piercings or like braiding your hair, you know, we're like a very cultural focused country.
Yeah.
So there are lots of things that just, that's why you see Nigerian mothers will scream.
True.
Because they are so concerned.
Another thing is like, a different environment, different rules apply.
Yeah.
So, when in Rome,
you act like
the
Romans. But okay, so for your PPA, right? Was there anything like? Did you live in? Have you ever lived in Abuja?
Prior to
NYC?
No, I just used to visit.
Okay, so like living there now, where were you living before?
When I come to Abuja.
Like before you came to Abuja, where were you living before?
Oh, Anambra.
Okay, so like, was there any like cultural shock moving from Anambra to Abuja that you had to like maneuver?
There were a few, definitely. Because being an Igbo person and coming from the east, and Biafra war happening, which is always a very touchy subject in Nigeria, you always tend to have like certain biases, that you think of a certain area, and then getting to Abuja, some biases were corrected, so I got to see, this is not how these guys are, and I got to see some other things about them as well.
Yeah.
And well, Abuja is not going deep into the north, but still.
Like you have an idea. Because when we had guests, some of them talk about how, like there's a guest we had to see, he said in Nasarawa. So he said that going to Nasarawa, a lot of the, stereotypes that he had heard about growing up, like, these people are like this, they're like that, just coming to be with them, hands-on, like working with them, interacting with them, you realize that they're actually not the way people describe them to be.
True.
And I think that's one of the things that NYC wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps, to be honest.
I see. It helps a bit, but there's still like a larger population of people that it's not changing anything for. So it means that there's a problem somewhere. It's not fixing the problem.
It just makes it gradual difference.
It's too slow.
Actually.
Just 1 year.
Right.
Yeah.
And
because right now, as I've left Abuja, now I'm in Lagos now, and I'm reading on the news, so is happening here, someone got stabbed, all those things. Some things start to come back. Yeah. So it's weird.
Really? So, being in Abuja, right, it's believed to be like one of the popping places, very amazing places. How are you able to balance your social life with working as a lawyer in Abuja? Because you're an artist as well. So I'm about to get into that. So like, how are you able to balance like following your passion, having a social life, and being a corper, like lawyer, working and stuff?
How did I balance it? Well, being a young person coming into a city, I lived alone as well. So you get to face taking full responsibility for yourself. It was an interesting dance. You'll be tested a few times, learn a few lessons.
What kind of lessons? Can we get into that?
First, public transport.
Okay, yeah.
So, unless your papa is Dangote and you have some kind funds, you would use Marwa for Abuja. You gotta. And then from Gwarimpa to Wuse, and Gwarimpa to Central area, which was where I worked. 2 different routes. Sometimes they follow certain particular paths, well, I had to come out, wait for the cab. It was just a whole different experience for me because in the east, it's a different transport system as well. There's more kekes and buses and private cars than car taxis.
Okay.
Yeah. So
in Abuja there were like more car taxis.
Yeah, there were more car taxis, and more like any car. Like anybody was doing taxi in Abuja.
Really?
I'm telling you,
You see a
Sienna, a Jeep. You will know that this one's driver that is basically using the car to make a little bit more funds, that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, I see what's going on.
Really?
Enter.
But weren't you ever like scared? Did you ever feel like security conscious? Do you have any security escapades?
To be honest, that was the reason why I felt khaki just made us just blend in. It's like your Nigeria property.
Yeah.
You just wakaeta. That's last Corper. But I just had to make sure that I was out within a time frame. I wasn't. You will catch me near public transport around 7.
Really?
Avoid it.
That early?
Yeah.
Why?
As a young person, because there might be a few stabbings.
Really?
Yeah. Depending on what route.
Oh, wow.
7:38. Yeah.
Did you know people that had to deal with that?
Yeah. 1 or 2.
Oh wow. So that must have been scary.
So if you want to go out on ball at night,
You have to have a car.
you have to have a car or boats.
Yeah.
Get money for boats. Nice. Yeah. Because like everywhere in Abuja is far from each other in a way. Free road.
Yeah.
So you're getting there fast, but there's still distance between the places. So a lot of lonely express in the night.
Lonely road and stuff.
Yeah.
But living in Lagos, right, and also like the fact that you live in Abuja, would you actually say that there's no traffic in Abuja? Don't lie.
Living in Lagos and living in Abuja. Please, there's no traffic in Abuja.
Really?
I'm telling you.
But
You guys
here now
are
it's
mad in Lagos.
Which guys?
Honestly.
Which guys?
Lagosians, no offense. I love you people, but
Yeah, it can be really, really crazy.
it's crazy.
And also because of the impatience.
Yes, like the line is moving. Why are you still honing?
It's not even the whole.
Do you want to fly?
Like you could be in a street. Let's say this is like a T junction or something. Someone like maybe cars are going straight, and then if you're going to turn this way, you turn this way. Someone that's going straight, because this one is going through, now turn this way, now want to go, and then maybe something happens, they get stuck there. So it's now causing traffic for the people that are meant to come. Next thing is just horns and horns, everyone is honking.
Impatience.
Like, it's such a mess. There was a time I literally witnessed it happen before my eyes, and I spent 1 hour on the spot because nobody wanted to reverse for the other person. And that strong head, that stubbornness, they are giddy.
That's the problem with Lagos traffic. That's what causes Lagos traffic.
It's the fact that
Everybody's
it's human.
rushing.
It's caused by humans.
Yeah, we
and
are
bad
all
roads.
afraid of the traffic, so we're all selfish about it.
Yeah.
And all rushing in at the same time. Just show love, you know.
But
Let your neighbor pass once in a
But I
while.
also think that the roads are so small, and there are lots of potholes. So when everybody's trying to, let's say on this lane there are lots of potholes, so everybody's trying to follow here, and it's a road that's meant to take like 3 cars, but everybody's trying to follow 1 lane. So there'll definitely be traffic, but hopefully it gets better.
Nigeria is the ideal.
To be honest. So like, focusing more on PPA again, right? Would you say that you would recommend like for law graduates and stuff? Because you know you guys have to go to law school and then doing like there's a whole process for you guys, right? Would you recommend that Abuja could be a good place for a lawyer to serve?
Depends on what you want to do. Real estate, Abuja.
Oh, there are particular areas that
Yeah,
thrive
very
in
few
Abuja.
areas thrive in Abuja.
Really?
Anything that has to do with selling land, real estate, ABG is your way to
Is
go.
it people would actually? But yeah, I should go to ABJ because I heard land is good business.
But it's not that profitable in Abuja because most of the real estate properties in Abuja are built by high-end developers.
Okay.
But the market in Abuja is the coppers and the servants, because Abuja, there's very little middle class in ABJ, so it's higher class and lower class. Yeah.
So there's no in between.
Very little.
So everybody's either locks or not locks at all.
Yeah, it's either you have or you have not. So the police in Abuja, they are friendly to people that look like they have, because they know our problem. That's why police problem in Abuja is not as tight as
in Lagos.
In Lagos, yeah, Lagos. You guys, everybody's just mad here. I don't know why.
Like there's just I think it's also because like everybody always comes here for greener pastures. Like yeah, in Lagos too. So why did you join us?
The music, I gotta come where it is.
Really?
And make some noise, yeah.
So, were you working a 9 to 5 at your PPA?
It was a 9 to 4.
Okay.
4:30.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So, like every day?
Every day.
So, when did you find time for your social life?
I would stab on some days. I'm not gonna lie.
That was the only way?
Yeah. Some days I just not show up. Then they just be calling. Where are you?
Did you say it's because like the transition was a lot, like going from the school structure and everything to just having to show up at work every single day?
Yes, it was a lot because I knew I didn't want office work ever, so it felt like another prison being there stuck. So I had to like come in, wear my AirPods, and you come in, your work is already on your table. They're not even wasting time. They ain't joking around.
Wow.
I swear, with your name on it, CC, Chima, something. Pile of documents to vet. Because the bank and they guarantee loans for real estate development and car loans for employees and some other things. It's a nice, juicy thing that they serve, or they're supposed to be serving, but Nigeria. Potholes here and there.
Right.
Yeah. But
so you just resume, see stuff on your table.
See work, plenty. So I'm just there sitting down and just vetting applications, vetting loan applications. Because as a lawyer, you have to go through the contracts, make sure that there are no issues with the title documents to the property.
Yeah.
Make sure that's basically saying, okay, this guy actually owns this thing that he wants to use to collect the loan.
Yeah.
And check other things, check land registry, do a lot of things. Sure.
Wow. So like, I want to backtrack a bit, right? So when you was it like a thing for you, like studying law? Was it a thing where you were younger and you always wanted to be a lawyer? Or how did the passion come? Because now, like we always have these dreams when we're younger and everything, and when we come an adult, we're just like, it's not really what I thought it was. So yeah, you have another passion on the side. So how was it like for you?
So my dad is a lawyer.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess he played an influence in a way, but he didn't directly just say, "Oh, go and study law."
Yeah.
I just saw, okay, it made him more aware of the society, because in my house, you're watching news on the TV or some other random documentary or cartoons, whenever you want to, but him being there watching news,
like that's what you kept seeing all the time.
I kept seeing, and he had his friends over a lot, so conversations, and we're Onitsha people. I'm from Onitsha, and Onitsha people, we love whiskey. Yeah, so when there's a whiskey bottle and conversations are flowing, I'm the only son, so I'm just standing there with the bottle. I'm basically the servant, get me a bottle, pour the drink, and stand in the corner. So I'm just always listening to politics, random stuff.
Yeah.
So I got to see that, okay, law was quite knowledgeable. And the way Nigeria is right now, there are very limited things that you can study in school and come out and be able to climb up. So as an art student, I'm like, okay, let's study law.
Really?
Let's do it.
So being posted at your PPA now, did it make the passion grow more? Was it just like, okay, this law, I'm not really sure anymore?
To be honest, the law for me has always just been a source of knowledge. That's all. It's all. And I want to use it for other things apart from practice. Yeah. No, that's just rudimentary. It's because Nigeria is where it is right now, and everybody is thinking you must go to court. The entertainment scene right now is making a whole lot more money. Lawyers there are becoming more profitable, so it's looking more lucrative. There's oil and gas.
Yeah. It depends on the sector.
Yeah.
You fit into. It's like, it
depends on the sector.
Really.
So people that are doing, lawyers in Lagos here working for companies that do corporate law practice. Now those ones are making bucks. You can't do corporate law practice in some other parts of Nigeria because this is where all the companies, the international brands are.
Yeah.
They get the big bucks.
Really? That's interesting. So as a couple, how did you like balance your music into that life?
Music, I think for me, has always just been a source of stress relief. Yeah. So it's a way of expressing tiredness, anger, sadness, joy, in a way that fetch a lot of money on the side, but keeps me whole.
Yeah. Did you use music as a coping mechanism when NYC was stressing out?
Oh yes. Throughout UNICEF, it was a coping mechanism. NYC, it was my holy grail. Because the stress of Nigeria, it hit. It hit because, little secret, my dad didn't want me to come to Abuja at first. He wanted me to serve in Delta, but as an artist, I needed to leave. I had to get out.
Your passion.
So I got to Abuja. So for a while, he wasn't sending me money because he was like, okay, you want to go?
Oh, that's a tough one to negotiate. I want to talk about finances here.
So he would give me bailout funds once in a while when they're desperate, but other than that, you're mostly just on your own. So I had the NYSC salary plus the work money, which was around 75k. But like, transport to that office was collecting like 35.
Bro, like,
and I'm talking about public transport.
Yes. Do you know now, like the state of fuel now, because I think a liter is about 600 and something. The normal, let's say you're going to take a bus, let me say from Aja to phase 1, let's say a bus used to be like 500. A bus is like 1,000 now. I think I wanted to
imagine what Corper's serving right now are going through. Like, I'm sorry for you guys.
Even the 33k cannot. I remember when I initially started in the previous PPA I was working before I changed, right? I was spending about 40k on transportation alone. It was just a lot. Mind you, and the thing is, it was also because of like safety. Because as much as I try to avoid using public buses, because I've heard like most of my friends that did camps there, they got attacked or someone harassed them and all of that. So it's not always like my first thing to jump at because of security reasons. But then the alternative is ridiculous. Like an Uber ride here today was like 7k, and I'm like, how do you keep up, right? And people are like, oh, you use you there ordinary ride, you're using rides to like flex and everything. No, it's because like if I use a bus, even if that ride, your life is also at risk. So
true. It's
just a very dicey thing to balance.
Like, so this is what adulthood in Nigeria is.
Oh my god!
Wow.
The transition. There's no. It's like what the government is doing to us now. You just wake up the next day, petrol is this. You wake up the next day, school fees for Unilag or public schools has gone from 30k to 150k or something like that. It's like, it's just wild. But how? So you're talking about
our
the
guy
transition.
said hit the ground running. So
right, hit the ground. So you're talking about the transition, right? And you like following your passion and then dealing with your parents with that. Was that like later on smooth or like it took a while?
It was a funny story. Started off. So I was trading crypto, Forex with robots, Intelligence Prime Capital, one company like that. So I took a loan from one of my friends, like 500k.
Wow.
You can call it ambitious, but I was like, sacrifice for the dream, So that was what gave me the ginger to leave and go to Abuja. Because when he was like, okay, no money, I was like, okay, I still have something at least. And then where I was staying, I wasn't paying rent, thanks to him. So I was there for a while before I now moved to get my own place. So getting there to Abuja, stuff was trading, I was going to I got to Abuja before NYSC.
Okay.
Yeah, so I finished from my uni in November, finished exams in July, then did the convocation in November, but the period between August to then, I was in Abuja for a while, came back for the graduation, left back to Abuja before service started. I wanted to get a feel of the environment. Yeah, so that period, started trading. In camp, I met some other people that were trading, and I got to learn more about the whole Forex with robots thing. Then getting back to Abuja, things were going fine, in the place I was staying.
You're being the soft boy.
I was a soft boy, yo. I was going to work every day, take a few days off once in a while, go out for social events, try and do my whole artist link up shit, recording stuff. Vibe was vibing, Then all of a sudden, I had to leave the place I was staying because there's a family friend's place.
Yeah.
And then we're having issues.
That could be tough.
Yeah, But it's not like they live there.
Yeah.
They live somewhere else, but like we still had some issues.
Yeah.
Then I had to leave. I had to now find my own place. So getting my own place, moving in, spending like just 1 week in my own place. One day I'm at work, just doing my shit, and then I pick up my phone and I'm seeing on the random, because there's a group chat for us, and then there are like random places to check for news. I was just saying that that they got hacked. I was like, huh?
Oh, the crypto thing.
I was like, hacked. I had to look at my phone. By then, the money there had gotten to like 1.2 M. I was like, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. And when I moved out, I wanted to give that guy his money before I moved out because the money had already gotten. As I moved out, where I was staying was at my cousin's place. He was in Biz for masters.
Yeah.
And he was living in an off-camp hostel that didn't cook.
Yeah.
So he basically just buy food. And so money just did come out.
Because
I was ordering food every day. Money just did go. And I spent like 4 weeks waiting for my new place. Wherever, see, in Abuja, house hunting. That's a whole different story.
I was going to ask, like, the trying to get to a place and, with, Corper salary, do you think it's even possible?
It depends on where you're looking at.
But does your company have, like, a lodge for you guys with Corper?
I heard that they may have had, but, like...
You weren't interested?
I didn't even know where it was, and I've been seeing lodges online, they weren't looking pretty, so I just didn't bother. But like in Abuja, trying to get a place to stay, if your budget is like 500k and below,
500k
and below, let's say 250 to 500k, because if it's less than 250 or 200k, I don't know where you want to stay.
Really?
It's Abuja, I swear.
Wow. Even in Lagos, I don't think you can get a place for that, to be honest. And that's the issue, like getting a comfortable place. Like imagine you're posted, someone that's always lived, for example, in Anambra, and they've always had like the same family and everything, and then the government posts them somewhere like Lagos or posts them to Delta or somewhere like that. And when they get there, they have to start their life, and then they have 33k to look for a place. What if where they're posted doesn't have a lodge? What if the lodge isn't conducive, you react or something, and then you have to start it all that? I feel like if you're going to do such a project, you have to be able to like finance it well.
Thank you.
Because there are a lot of people involved, lots of lives involved, even with the security. There are couples that got in car accidents, there are couples that got, a lot of things.
Like 2-3 months ago, I saw something about a couple in Delta that
I think I saw
car
a car accident, and people were trying to solicit funds for her because she had a huge burn, but then she ended up passing away. And you are going to serve your country. So I'm like, personally, I feel like it's a beautiful initiative. I love this whole thought, but like the how it's done, like that's why even this podcast is there, like just to educate more people and give them a better idea, and also talk about it, because it's a lovely initiative. Like if you talk to people from other countries,
if I have a solution for them, we don't want to listen. Really,
we'll talk about that soon. So like when I talk to people from other countries, they're just like, oh wow, your country actually, because for a while, like NYC was just so basic to me that I didn't realize that it's only Nigeria, right, that people do something like that for their youths, and it's actually beautiful. Imagine in the US now, when you graduate, you're sent somewhere to work for a year to help you get a job, like an internship, and they pay you every month, and then you come. Like it sounds nicer. We're already thinking about it, but that's because they have a structure, and their country on its own is already working good.
Good morals, people are willing to help you.
They're still crazy stuff, gun violence and everything. Yeah. But like, let's go back to like the financial part. Like, how were you able to, go about getting your place and recover from seeing, they got hacked?
My dear. So that day in the office, I was just staring at my phone, like, wow. And my friends are telling me, "Guy, give this guy back his money now." I was like, if I give him back now, I literally just have like maybe 50k or 100k left because the funds are gone. But I was like, okay, let's keep building. I left it kept building. So by the time it got hard, that was when it was about 1.2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So at that point, what can I do?
Wait, everything was gone.
Yeah, the money was there, but I couldn't get it out. Yeah.
Damn.
So I was staring at it on my phone. I just looked at the money. I can't do anything. I can't bring it out. Nothing. Next thing they are saying that they will convert it to tokens, and then we will now use tokens to buy back our money. So token for token.
Yeah.
So I go buy back 1.2 with 1.2. Like, oh, father. It was honestly another scam.
Yeah.
So I was like, nope, you can't fool me twice.
Damn, that must have been tough dealing with that with your friend.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to explain?
Yeah. Well.
But how were you able to like stand back on your feet? Especially because like, you know, you went there to chase your dream and
I have
you're
to
working.
pay back now.
Yeah, definitely.
All my music waka just paused for a while. Probably was the depression for a bit. Just a bit.
Because that must have been a lot. And you're still doing 9 to 4.
My guy.
So
Public transport to work every day.
Yeah.
Just
Like, you're
every
still
day.
thinking about your life.
Just wake up, plug my earpiece, dress,
Like
step
this is
out.
the same routine.
Yeah, as a musician, take some grass, get out, get to work, sit down there just doing work and shit, coming back and shit.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, your music. Okay, so chasing that dream, right? And also being a lawyer, how's that been for you? Because I think you mentioned something you know what to practice and all of that.
It's been an interesting journey. My songs are fire now, much better. I had to they said when you're down, you just pull through.
Yeah.
Even if it's
try
like
your best.
a still moment for a bit. So I just kept recording a lot more shit. So I have a lot of songs ready for Nigerians.
Really? That's actually really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that you're also able to come out of that and it's a new stage where you're trying to be an adult and discover more about yourself, and then you have to deal with such a huge thing at the same time.
Yeah.
So that must have been super crazy. But your friends, did you have friends also in Abuja that you knew that made living and navigating life easier for you?
Yeah. A couple of guys from my uni. We all moved to Abuja, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was easy to figure out things because when you're posted to a different place, it can be quite difficult for you to navigate, especially feeling alone, missing family, being homesick and stuff.
I feel me. I'm a sojourner, so I like to.
You like adventures?
Yeah, I like adventures. I think that's one of the. Another reason why I picked music was that it was the only thing I could see professional-wise. I'll be able to travel the world and still in a way be attached to Nigeria. Because why wouldn't you be happy to be black and be proud of where you're from? But country is making it impossible. But we're still trying.
Yeah.
So I was like, music. So adventure. Yeah, adventurous. Yeah.
Did being a corper contribute anything to your music life?
A bit.
Really? How?
I got to see what the youths of Nigeria look like.
Wait, I don't understand. Can you explain?
Yes, now, random ass young people at CDS, you're watching everybody. Okay, so me personally, I like to observe people, like a habit. So during CDS, I just come in, sit down in one place, and I'm just looking at everybody and watching what's going on, and notice the tiny details.
Yeah.
So, I got to see how the young people in Nigeria are. Got to see the creative side. I got to see the hustle spirit. What makes us stick where we are.
Nigerians.
Streets. It was interesting. Different characters. Jesus. There are some people that when they come to camp, when they come to see us, sorry, just looking at them like, wow.
It happened a lot, especially with drama. Like someone's file, probably looking for files and all of that. So that can be so crazy.
That's
I remember this time I was trying to I don't know if they do for your CDS, right? But in ours, when you get your CDS forms and everything, when you fill it, after doing your thought printing and all of that, you put the file back into your bag. So you're not allowed to take your file, leave with your file. In my local government. I don't know why they do that, because when you come back, they now put all the files out. Everybody's now looking for their own files so they can go up to their number, and it's always so chaotic. There's one time I was
does not make sense.
Okay, please, can I?
In Abuja, everybody has their own.
Really?
You come with your own stuff.
But I don't know why they can't just let it. I think in different states, it's the process is different.
Yeah.
It's handled differently. So what would you say is a way that Nigeria can actually make NYC better? Do you think it needs a reformation? I agree. I think it needs a reformation. I don't want it to be cancelled. Do you think it should be cancelled or it should be reformed?
I think for unity to foster, it means getting to know each other better. To get to know each other better, you need to spend more time with each other. I feel 1 year is not enough. But you can't stop people's life, for NYSC. So why not apply the principles of the program to university system? I don't know, 4 years, 5 years in a different environment, you get to understand them a lot more, and you're actually immersed for longer.
But I think that happened in uni a lot, because with uni, right, you meet people from different states and different. That's how most of the stereotypes I have for different cultures stopped, because I dealt with the Hausas, I dealt with the Igbos.
Well, it depends on the uni, though. If, for example, and depends on where, because there are places like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and maybe Akwa Ibom and Kano, being heavy commercial cities, you might have a mix of different tribes and ethnic groups to certain degrees, but the rest of Nigeria doesn't have that advantage because they're not economically sound, so they're basically just the same people. So it's more remote. That's why the cities and the remote areas.
I actually get what you mean, but generally I feel like we just really need a huge reformation. And incorporating it into uni, still, 1 year might not be enough, but I think that 1 year is still enough time. Just one of
maybe if the country was safer, people might want to even go to another state to go and study and move around. When was the last time anybody was taking proper road trip for Nigeria?
There was a guest we had that served in Gombe, and talking about his experience in Gombe State, he actually he got to visit places and see different things he always saw in movies. But then the journey getting there, the experience on its own wasn't something so pleasant. And that's the thing. It's not like we don't personally I want to go to different places Obudukatu Ranch. There's so many beautiful places. But the process of getting, if I could just disappear and appear there, it would be different. But
I have a friend.
The flights and everything.
He said on his journey, on his way to the place, because he's Yoruba, and then he doesn't understand the language of the place. At some point, they were in a car. He was just hearing, people talking, and generally, instincts, when you hear a foreign language, you tend to get scared.
Because you don't feel safe.
Yeah, because it's Nigeria. And the road was very lonely, remote villages, and apparently they have a lot of oranges, heaps and heaps of oranges around. But after spending a week or so in camp, leaving the place, he got a bit, comfortable around hearing the language.
And everything.
So.
But it works for some people. Do you know there are even some people that my dad served in Calabar State.
Yeah.
He now ended up doing his masters in Calabar, and for a second I felt like Calabar was my state. But
Calabar is in Cross River now.
Yeah, sorry, not Calabar State, Cross River State. Yeah, because that doesn't sound right. Yeah, Cross River State. Yeah, Calabar. So he served there, and he actually had a great time. Even because obviously he's Yoruba. He's an Ibadan man, and at home we end up making a lot of Calabar food, mostly Calabar food. He's just acquainted with the system. He speaks like you can have a conversation with someone about like in their language and a bit of like Akwa Ibom language. Like he can just be generally fluent. That was because of his NYC experience. So for them, I think they had such a great time back then. I
think the problem with why NYC is not working right now is every other contributing factor. Security, chaos in Nigeria. So as a Corper, life is terrible. So it's not actually a joyful experience. You know,
you're just trying to get past. Because most people are just like, let me just get this 1 year done. Because apparently you can't even get a job, a proper job without your NYC certificate.
Not to talk of places that would, wanna sugar mummies and sugar daddies in exchange for let me get you into this ministry or that ministry.
And that's when that comes.
They say Abuja men are nice.
Isn't that nice? Well, I actually wanted to talk to a babe that studied in Abuja because I hear lots of stories.
Oh, you should. You definitely should.
Maybe we should. If you're interested, let us know actually. Well, generally to wrap up the conversation, I think that information will be good. But like for you, right? You're now in law school, right? How is that like for you? Like, you're now following your passion, following your dreams, doing what you need to do. You're done with NYC now.
Not completely, because the law school is a joke.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different experience, more intense, rigid reading and system. That's what makes the law very rigid. So just getting back into the feel of
being in an education system.
Yeah, being in an education system and a very strict one at that. It's a bit hard to balance, but we try.
Yeah.
What can we do? We need to get the week done so we can continue.
And follow your passion. I think for you it's more like, I already started the journey, let me finish the law degree and finish it well.
Let's just be done.
So I can actually, so in case you need to pick it up, you pick it up.
No, I'm definitely picking it up later, but not practice.
Not now.
Maybe go do music first. Cool.
Okay. So to wrap up, please plug your music, how people can reach out to you, listen to your songs and all of that.
Okay. Check me out at The Pope, THE, then Pope, POPE. The O has a slash. So you can type the nominal O, and when you see it, you see the one with the slash, and you know that's me. And then you see my face.
Okay.
So check anywhere, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere.
Okay. What song would you recommend you listen to first?
Start with I Confess.
What did you confess?
You'll see. Check it
out. So thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you so much for being a guest on today's episode.
You're welcome.
Please tell them to like.
Please. She does some good content.
Follow
up, do the needful.
Tell them to subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye.
Bye.